All praises to Yahweh Ba'Sham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakak. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. And this is going to be a video on how Isaiah 4 and 1, the prophecy of Isaiah 4 and 1, ultimately proves that women do not know what they're talking about, right? And I'm going to read the prophecy, and then I'm going to go to the previous chapter and read to give some more detail to the prophecy. So Isaiah chapter 4 and verse 1, and in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take our approach. Now that's a complete contrast to the world that we're living in now, where you'll have women that are literally not a virgin. So that's the first thing that shows that this standard of theirs that's so outrageous is a complete joke. Because let's say these crazy high standards that these women had, even if, right, they were completely too ugly and attractive and didn't have the personality or anything else going for themselves to where they felt like they could achieve this, the standard would carry more weight if they had not broken the standard several times to increase their body count numbers. So if they were virgins and had these standards of, I want a man to make 500,000 a year, he has to be 6'5" bare minimum, he's got to look like a movie star, he's got to be this, he's got to be that, he's got to have a great social network, he's got to know doctors in case I get sick, he's got to know people in the financial world, he's got to know all of these different things. That standard wouldn't be as ridiculous if they hadn't slept with loads of men that didn't even meet one of those things on their so-called characteristics that they want from a man. It would carry a bit more weight then, right? Because they would have been like, okay, they ain't settling until they meet this guy, but they've never met that guy in their life. And some of them have never met that guy in their life because for some of them, they're making a man so outrageous in their mind and he don't even exist in the real world. He don't even exist, man. They're literally trying to make a man based on a character from a movie that they saw, some of them. That's how ridiculous they are. But anyway, let's go to Isaiah, the 3rd chapter, to get some more understanding of the day that he's talking about in the scriptures, that 7 women are going to take hold of one man. So it's Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 24, and it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell there shall be stink, and instead of a girdle of rent, and instead of well set hair boldness, and instead of a stomach a girdle of sackcloth, and burning instead of beauty. Now this is a judgment that's happened to the women and the children of Israel, the daughters of Zion, for their arrogance and their pride that they've shown to the Israelite man, right? That's the person that they've been able to show these characteristics of being haughty, walking with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go, making a tinkling with their feet. It was us that they've been able to show that characteristic with on this earth the most. And because of that, Yahweh judged them, made them stink. They don't have that natural perfume smelling odor that a woman has, right? They don't have well set hair, they're bold, right? They're putting all these crazy things in their hair to try and lengthen their hair. They're trying to snitch on other nations of women, saying, oh, but they wear weave too, they wear wigs too. But the reason why we might not know that these other women of other nations are wearing wigs too and are wearing weave too is because they're wearing a hair that looks like it could grow out of their head. And no matter how many times we say that to the Israelite woman, she still does not get it. She's still making excuses. Like if you've got a blonde wig on, obviously we're going to know it's not your hair. If you've got a blonde wig that looks like another nation's hair, obviously we're going to know it's not your hair. We're obviously going to know she didn't dye her hair and it looks like that. That's why it's blonde. We're going to obviously know that. But this world's so bugged out that for a long time, people of other nations was actually believing that the so-called black man's hair grows as an afro and the so-called black woman's hair grows long and straight. That's how bugged out this world was, man. And no matter how much we say this, human is still going to go into them stanking ass Elam, stanking, dirty, stinking ass Ishmaelite heathens, shops, flirting with them to get a cheaper weave, hoping. You're going to still keep going in their shops all the time, man. Talking about it's too hard to do your own hair. It's too hard for us to manage our own hair. Why? It's never been too hard for you Israelite women to run your mouth. But it's always been too hard for you to do your own hair, though, isn't it? Or it's too hard to maintain it and to manage it. But it's never been too hard for you to maintain and manage running your mouth, though, has it? You've always got time to run your mouth. You've always got time to go on social media and do this and do that. You've got time to spend hours in a day shaking your ass in a nightclub, but you ain't got time to figure out how to do your hair, though. Sounds like BS to me. Verse 25, thy men shall fall by the sword. So a war is coming on this earth that's going to cause for men to fall by the sword. And thy might in the war, wars are coming that are going to strip the earth of men. It's going to strip the earth of men that women want to be with. And it's going to strip the earth of men that women don't want to be with. And the only thing that's going to be left in that day is the men that don't want to deal with you, which is going to be men of the elected of the nation of Israel that ain't got time for the new women that run no funny business, right? And it's going to be the men that don't care about you, that might deal with you on their terms in a vicious way. So that's going to be the only men that are available for you women in that day. The men that you women would want to be with then, the elected of the nation of Israel, because you're starting to realize that, damn, these guys really are going to be the next rulers of the earth. They're happy in this time, even though it's chaos in the world. They actually seem happy. What they're happy for. I miss being able to go to Starbucks, but these guys are laughing. I actually saw him laugh. He actually looked happier now than when I seen him before in the world, and the society was normal. Why does he look happier now? Does he know something I don't know? Yes, they do. They know a hell of a lot that you don't know. That verse 25, thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy might in the war, and their gates shall lament and mourn, and she being desolate shall sit upon the ground, and all of her gates, right, are going to be all the things that you was lusting after, thinking that you're going to go back to the times where men were just doing this. And you women have got all these sayings, men used to go to war. Right? Men used to go to war. Yeah, you know what? Women used to shut their mouth. Men used to go to war. Okay, men used to also get stones for a woman that committed adultery. So how far back in time do you want to go, man? Let us know. Yeah. Let us know. If you had a time machine, how far back you trying to go, man? To just when men used to go to war, and these stupid dummies. Don't men still go to war, dumbass? In Russia and Ukraine, who is it that's going to the war? Who is it that's been going to the war? The war in the land of Israel, who's been doing that? You stupid idiots, man. That men used to go to war. They still do go to war, dumbass, jackass. But guess what? In this time now, because you women are equal to men, you're going to war as well. You're going as well, man. Enjoy being. Now you're gonna finally, like, I don't know what the stress is with y'all, you know. Now you're gonna finally get the chance to be strong and independent. Like, what's the grievance, man? If I was strong and independent, the first thing I'd be wanting is a chance to prove how strong I am. All right? You see, when men go gym, a man go into the gym and all that, and he's working out on his body and that, yeah, he'll almost kind of want somebody to try him in a situation where he can be guiltless. He'll actually kind of want somebody to try him. Let me see what these muscles can do. Let me test this out, man. Let me test this strength out that I've been working on. Men actually almost kind of want something to try to jump off, to get a chance to prove it. But for some reason with you women, you don't want the chance. Also with you women, you're talking all this and boasting about how much you make your own money now. But isn't it funny how you don't ever want an opportunity to use it? Like, it's ridiculous. And this is what I'm saying in this video. Isaiah 4:1 is going to prove that you women don't know what you're talking about. Because you're going to go from talking about all of these high standards that you expect men to have to not asking for none of that. So obviously that stuff wasn't as big of a deal to you as you needed, because if it was, you'd stay on it regardless, man. Yet the things that we require of women, we're going to stay on them to the end. We want women that don't run their mouth, that look good to us, that aren't demons, that aren't hoes. And that's going to stay the standard even when men are choosing which women are going to be their wives into the kingdom. There ain't going to be no weird ass talon nails Eve running up trying to talk. First of all, I'm not finna. Don't think I'm finna be cooking for you now because it's the apocalypse, nigga. I'm not finna. Okay, you finna get the fuck out my face. That's what you finna. Like, that's what they don't understand. That's their worst nightmare, man. A man actually having the ability to talk in a royal boldness, and that's Esau's main worst nightmare as well. Esau's worst nightmare and Eve's worst nightmare are the Israelite man be actually being able to stand up and tell people, get the back up off me, man. Back up out my face. Him actually being able to have a standard and keep to it. And not having to bow down to no woman or to no man of no other nation. That's this world's worst nightmare. And guess what? It's going to happen. Isaiah chapter 32 and verse 9. Rise up, women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters, give ear unto my speech. And all the ease that these women are talking about. All these things that these women wanted to be stay at ease. Right? them standards are going to go down the drain. So it's going to prove that it wasn't a real standard. It's going to prove these women don't know what they're talking about. Because if they did know what they're talking about, they're going to stand on business. They're going to say, nah, I'm staying with the standard that I set for myself, man. You are not finna try and come and hard at me with no less than. You ain't going to try and come to me with no bare minimum. You ain't going to try. You ain't 6 feet. Like, here it is. They've got this height standard. That height standard is going to go right down the drain. And it already does go down the drain. It already does go down the drain anyway, man. Because you men have got children with all kinds of men, and they ain't 6 foot, man. They ain't 6 foot. Y'all just say that because you hear every other stupid idiot woman say that BS. It has to be 6 foot, make about $5,000 a year. Mate, you wouldn't even know what to do with that amount a year, man. Y'all wouldn't even know what to do with that amount of year just after you get a BBL, and you'll just stank up the money. You'd stank it off getting cosmetic surgery, man. That's all you may ever do when you start getting a good amount of disposable income. The first thing a woman does if she gets 6 figures of disposable income, majority of the time in this world, is buy some cosmetic surgery, man. Get her calves re-sleeved or something stupid, man. I want my elbows shortened or something stupid. Yeah, if she gets 7 figures of disposable income, who knows what the hell she's gonna do with it, man? Get a vag revamp or something. Who knows what the hell they're gonna do, man? Know what I mean? Many days and years should be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come, and it's already been happening. For the last couple of decades, this has already really been happening. For the last decade in general, this has already been happening to you. I mean, definitely in the last 5 years, it's been happening. Men are actually starting to realize that you men are demons, man. Verse 11, tremble you women are at ease, be troubled ye careless ones, strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. They shall lament for the teats, for the present fears, for the fruitful vine, and they're going to lament for it, but then eventually they're going to sack it off and be like, forget all that. I'll eat my own bread, I'll wear my own apparel, only let us be called by thy name, to take away our reproach. Because what you women don't understand, yeah, is no matter how much you try and fight and strive against men, Yahweh set you in a certain thing, right? Genesis chapter 3 and verse 16, unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be unto thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. We rule over you. No matter how much you want to run your mouth. A man's always been telling you women what to do. This whole strong, independent woman, I don't need no man, that came from men as well, and y'all are following what the men say. You've always been following a man. Even in your so-called freedom, you've been following what men say. Because if men ever said, you know what, all this feminist BS, right? You see all this feminine, I don't need no man stuff, we're ending that tonight. Starting from tomorrow, any woman talking to that BS, he's gonna get gone upside her head. She go in jail. She go in jail. And someone would test the waters at first. And then as the first time they see that men start coming up and grabbing them and clasping them shackles on and putting them in a prison, they'd throw that down the window. Oh, I was only messing, honey. I do need a man. I do need a man. Yeah, we know. And you always needed a man. The way how women talk about men, the elect of the nation of Israel would never talk about Yahweh, you know. Never in their life. Because here it is, women are always begging men for money. Always begging, you know, no matter how much they make. I seen one video where some female gymnast that's quite pretty actually, called Sunny Lee, right? She was on the Olympic team for America, right? She looks like she's a kind of a Moabite or something like that, but she's potentially an Israelite, right? And she's got a net worth of about $5 million potentially. That's what people estimate her net worth is, like $5 million. And she's on the internet talking about, I need a man that's going to take care of me and my friends. Now, it wouldn't be that bad if she was saying she needs a man that would take care of her. But she's saying she needs a man that takes care of her and her friends. Why can't you take care of your friends with your 5 million? Why would you expect a man to take care of your friends? What the hell kind of shit is that? Like, how dumb do women think that men are? Seriously, how dumb do they think men are, man? Why would you want your man to take care of your friends? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Isn't that just going to make your friends like your man? And what are your friends giving to your man that would make him feel like he should be paying for anything in their life? Why? What does take care of? Why would you want a man to take care of you and another woman? that are your friends. Like why would you want that? What would that actually end up making happen in this world? Because it's funny how women always say stuff like that as well. You know, they'll you always catch this footage of women wanting men to pay for their friends on dates. Yeah, but none of these women have got that same kind of mentality when it comes to, you know what, my libido is lower than my man's libido. So you know what, I'm gonna go out there and find him one of my female friends that I know ain't got no man. I'm gonna tell her that she should be with this with man I'm with as well, and we'll both be his wives. And when's a woman ever did that? They do everything. They know everything. They'll go through men's phone, do this and do that, do everything else to get on a man's damn nerves in this world. But when the hell have you ever seen a woman do that in this world, man? And I ain't talking about no dirty ass freeway where she's in the mix, trying to jump up, trying to get things jumping as well, and herself be involved. Talking about how we can deal with other women as long as I'm involved. Mate, you ain't supposed to be involved, you freak. You ain't supposed to be involved, man. You sit down, man. He don't want you in the mix when it's going off. When he's dealing with the other woman ain't gonna be there, and when he's dealing with the other woman, he don't want you there. But these women were down for some weird ass shit. But when is the last time you ever seen them be on something that Sarah was on? Getting him a next wife, or Rebecca or Leah was on, and they weren't even Israelite women. So in the history of the scriptures, the women of other nations have continually been showing themselves to be more righteous than what even some Israelite women do, man. Now Jude, if she was a righteous woman, Susanna was a righteous woman, Esther was a righteous woman, but them heathen women of the past, the women of the other nations of the past, they were more righteous than some of you Israelite women right now, man. Genesis chapter 3 and verse 16, unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. And that's why all this decentering men stuff that they're talking about, it ain't real, man. And Isaiah 4:1 is going to prove that these women don't know what they're talking about. Because if just even right now, on Saturday when it comes up, right, when these women go to the nightclub, if a fight breaks out in a nightclub, these women are crying and screaming, oh, stop! Ah! They just want it to go back to peace. That's what the scream's always about. They want it to go back to peace, where they can just dwell in their so-called fake-ass femininity that they got. And beg for money, beg for things from men. Mime the lyrics in the track and shake a bit, sit down in the section, relax, drink some drinks that they didn't have to pay for, right? Look and lust after all the men in all the other booths as well, and try and give him signals like, okay, I'm with this guy right now in this booth, but if you say the right thing, it could be yours as well for the right price. And then just sit back down again, man. Like, it's absolutely disgusting, this society that's been made, man. It's sickening. This is a sickening place that we're in right now, man. It's disgusting, bro. Now, I said the thing about how women also say men used to go to war and all that, right? But isn't it funny how these women never talk about what they used to do? And with this whole men used to go to war thing, no one's supposed to be going to war when you actually understand the overall plan of Yahweh Basham Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is getting ready to end war. So are they gonna, or if women think that a man being a real man is them going to war, well, okay, are there gonna be any real men in the kingdom of heaven? Because there ain't gonna be no war in the kingdom of heaven. So are there gonna be any real men there? All you women that think you're some smarty pants out there, you tell us, man. You think you know so much. Are there gonna be real men in the kingdom of heaven? Because there ain't gonna be no war there. And I'm gonna prove it right now. Isaiah chapter 2 and verse 4, and he shall judge among the nations. In fact, verse 2, and it shall come to pass, meaning this is gonna have to happen. Otherwise, it's going to still be waiting to happen. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of Yahweh's house shall be established in the top of the mountains and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. And many people shall go and say, come ye and let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh, to the house of the power of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law, and the word of Yahweh from Jerusalem, and he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, meaning that all these weapons of war are getting turned into something else. The material is not going to be void. The material is still going to have a use. It's going to be used for something else. We ain't just going to throw the materials away that made these weapons. No, we can use it for something else. And they shall judge, and he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people. We're going to be telling them, yo, stop eating that. Stop doing this law. Stop breaking this law. Stop doing this sin. It's the Sabbath. You're not supposed to be working. That animal's not for food. Grow a beard. Women put on some modest apparel. Yeah, women are supposed to have their head covered. That's his wife. You're not supposed to sleep with her. Judged. Keep the land Sabbaths, right? Don't have unequal balances of finances. Don't do usury on the people of your own nation. You can't put interest on the people of your own nation. If you want to put interest on somebody, you'll have to do a dealing with another nation. And then you can use usury on them. Don't sell roadkill to your own people, but you can sell it to a people of another nation. That's what we're going to be telling these people, man. Whether they like it or not. That's the thing. If they like it, that's cool. If they don't like it, they're going to like it. Verse 4, and he shall judge among the nations and to rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. So all this men used to go to war, BS, that you men are talking about, men ain't going to be going to war in the kingdom of heaven. And are the men going to be of a higher quality then? Because it's funny. Women say, oh, men used to go to war, right? But then at the same time, they blame men for all the wars that happen in the world. Oh, men don't know how to rule properly. They've made so many wars, but then at the same time, whenever they want it, when it's convenient, men used to go to war. I miss the time when men used to go to war and blah, 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 and this and that. Do you miss the time when women used to shut the fuck up and shut their mouth? do you miss that time? You know what I mean? You miss that time because a lot of these wars that were fought ended up resulting in you being able to run your mouth like how you are, man. If America wasn't the ruling power right now, if Babylon the Great wasn't the ruling power of the earth right now, a lot of you wouldn't be able to run your mouth like how you're running it. And that's why they hate that the whole passport bros thing and all of that, because America and a few other choice countries are the only places where they can get away with the arrogance that they show in this world. Anywhere else, they ain't really able to flow like that. And Isaiah 4:1, man. Let me read it again. Isaiah 4:1. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. That scripture is going to prove that they don't know what they talk, that they never knew what they was talking about, man. But she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth, because all they was ever thinking about is what's fun. I know I'm not supposed to do this, adultery. I know I'm supposed to do that, but it feels good. It's pleasure. So she just did it. They just did whatever they wanted to do as long as it felt good, knowing that people that are justifying her doing it are actually going off. They didn't care. They're like, well, I shouldn't. If I wasn't there to do it, then I shouldn't be able to get away with it then. And that's how Esau thinks, man. Esau is also dead while he's living, and he's lived in the same pleasure as the woman as well, man. Read Wisdom of Solomon 2. For the wicked said, reasoning with themselves, but not right. Our life is short and tedious. Let us enjoy the things of the world while we're young, right? And let me read one more. Let me read one more scripture, man, and I'm going to end the lesson here. Because the wars and all these kind of things are coming to the earth that's going to humble people, man, and prove that these women didn't know what they was talking about. 2 chapter 16 and verse 33, the virgins shall mourn having no bridegrooms, the women shall mourn having no husbands, their daughters shall mourn having no helpers. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. So when this happens, if really what women knew what they was talking about, surely they'd be celebrating, because now that means that there's more women on the earth, and they're gonna make the earth be how they want it to be. But instead, the scriptures say, and prophecy states, that Yahweh is going to make a man more precious than fine gold. So as there becomes even less men, the women ain't going to be like, see, this is the world we wanted, girls. Now we're going to be able to prove, and women rule, yeah. They're going to be saying, man, where the men at? Because like when you have something in abundance, right, you don't appreciate it. Just like how the children of Israel as a whole nation in general, the men, the women, and the children, we didn't appreciate when we was in the land of Israel just keeping the laws and blessed. And we didn't realize that by our sins, we would go to number 0, to last place in the human food chain, man. In all the nation food chain of humans, we become last for sinning. Even though talent-wise we're first, influence-wise we're still first, but the fruit that it brings back to us is still last place. We still don't have control over what our nation does properly on this earth, man. I'm gonna end the lesson there. Isaiah 4:1 is gonna prove that you women don't know what you're talking about when that prophecy is fulfilled. Shalom.